Hey, you guys. So I wanted to come on here briefly and give my commentary on the situation going on with Gayle King and Oprah right now, and our very disturbing and alarming behavior in response to their actions. So I'm sure you guys have seen this multiple times right now. It's viral, it's on every form of social media, so it's practically unavoidable at this point. There have been homicidal threats towards Gayle King, and Oprah recently came out to make a statement about how Gayle was fearful for her life and how Oprah herself hasn't been well as a result of the backlash that Gayle has received. Now, I want to make something clear. I do have a personal disdain myself towards both of these women. I think they go out of their way to create and stir up controversy, especially in terms of black men and some black women too, because of Oprah and the Monique situation. But you guys, I have to be honest, this actually goes against the very thing that I speak about. We have to look at this visually. We have to see how this is an attack on black women, and we as a community are only adding fuel to that fire because it already has metastasized as a result of social media. And one thing, I don't condone Gayle's incessant questioning of Kobe Bryant's past. I understand that to a certain degree, it's her job to sometimes go into that uncomfortable space of questions that a higher power requests that you ask. But I think that the reason why people are upset about this is because it's the timing of it. It was insensitive. And that's the one thing, I completely understand that people are upset about that. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be upset or disappointed. But the thing that I am saying is it's okay to say things like, I'm really disappointed in her. I'm upset with her because it was insensitive. What I don't agree with is sending this level of vitriol towards somebody. I mean, there were comments that I had come across on various social media sites where people were saying things like, she doesn't deserve to live, how could she do this? And, they were just kind of making it seem as though it was something like the end of the world because she went as far as to ask these questions, which again, let me just reiterate, I'm not condoning, I'm not saying that it was okay for her to continuously keep asking those questions. But the one thing that I found to be very ridiculous and I think that was unnecessary was whenever Snoop Dogg had actually referred to her as a dog, referred to Gayle King as a dog. I thought that that was actually downright low and degrading on a completely different level, because if you guys don't understand the visual aesthetics behind this vivid description that Snoop Dogg tried to describe her as, black women in society, they're already perceived as low. They are already devalued. They're told from the start that they aren't as beautiful or pretty as other races of women. And so when you have people like Snoop Dogg sitting here and referring to a black woman as a dog, you have to think about how we as a community don't get the benefit of individuality. So when he said that, he's saying that not only she looks this way, but black women look this way. Gayle is not a white or an Asian woman. She's clearly a black woman. And so when he said that, I felt like that some internalized self-hate was being projected onto the situation, more specifically towards black women. When a black man makes a contemptuous and lamentable remark such as that, he in essence is degrading himself also in that same sentiment, because understand that without a black woman, a black man can't exist. And I think we all know this, and we have to really understand why this is problematic. And quite frankly, at this point, it's gone too far. I don't know if you guys remember, but it kind of reminds me of the time of when Chrisette Michele received similar backlash, because I don't know if you guys remember, but back in 2017, this was around the time of whenever Trump was being inaugurated and got to go into the White House. So around that time, they had Chrisette Michele singing I can't remember exactly which one it was, but they had her singing. And everybody was basically telling her that, no, basically don't do this. It's not a good idea. You have to think about how you will be perceived by the masses, how you'll be perceived by your fans, because your fans are telling you, no, don't do this. But she still went ahead and proceeded to go through with it. And as a result of that, she did receive backlash, and it was to a degree like how it is now with the Gayle King situation. She received various forms of comments on social media, basically just stating that, you know, this was unacceptable. I'm not going to state the exact specifics because it was very harsh, but it was basically beyond that point to where you would consider it to be too far. And she's actually had some very devastating health effects as a result of that. She had suffered a miscarriage. She had deep depression. And she, if I'm not mistaken, I think that she may have had thoughts of taking her own life at some point because the comments were just so terrible and degrading. So I don't think that we take into consideration how vicious and savage our words can be when we express our anger. You know, we always say that there's that line you shouldn't cross whenever you're in like a heated argument or a discussion. And you guys, to be honest, I think that we've crossed that line. I definitely, more than anything, understand the sensitivity of the situation. But is it really so serious that we have to send this lady such harsh threats? Because yes, I agreed with Snoop Dogg to a certain degree about Oprah and Gayle questioning Harvey Weinstein. And I definitely have resentment towards Oprah because of her constant degeneracy towards black men. But we have to, at the same time, protect our black women. And when they do something that's unfavorable, you know, I feel like that we can express it in a different way. We can conduct ourselves in a more civilized manner and say how disappointed we are without the excessively harsh ridicule and scrutiny. We're so aggressive toward our own, and I don't understand how while we have this energy for our own, but we can't apply it towards issues that matter. You know, issues like systemic oppression. And hey, I mean, let's even throw in George Zimmerman. He's still boasting proudly about ending Trayvon Martin's life. I saw where he even tried to sell the gun he used to take his life with on some bidding site. So where's our outrage for that? And it just goes to show that you guys obviously have the power and the rage to be able to enact change. Why are we not using that power towards issues that actually matter is what I'm saying. It's so hypocritical of us. And I'm sorry, you guys, I can't rock with that. When we start acting vehemently towards our own in that manner, I just can't. I hope that Kobe and his daughter are resting peacefully. My sincerest condolences go to the family. This entire situation is just devastating, both during and after. It hasn't been easy. All I can say is I hope that we continue to improve as a community, because the direction we're heading right now is just, it's making me look at our people with disappointment. And I know we know better than this, you guys. So please, let's focus our energy on more important issues like voting in your local community, uplifting your black people. And, you know, if they do something that you find to be unfavorable, correct them in a more professional manner. Don't do any kind of name calling, don't threaten. Just make sure to tell them, you know, individually or professionally why you feel, you know, that there is an issue with the way that they're conducting themselves. So with that being said, make sure you guys get in the comment section below, weigh in and share your thoughts on this situation. Do you think at this point that it's kind of gone a little bit too far? And make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to the video. And I will talk to you in my next one.